This is a demonstration of the DMRS's reporting application. Please note that all data displayed is fabricated test data and in no way represents actual park assessment data. For the purpose of this demonstration, I am logging into the system as a school principal. As a school principal, I want to use this system to both understand my school's overall performance and also monitor my students' individual results on the park assessment. As I have just logged into the system for the first time, I am presented with the All Park States report. This report allows me to view how my state performed in comparison to other park states. So for the very first time, I can view my state's results in context to other states' performance on the same assessment. The first row in the report shows assessment result data aggregated across all the park states. Below this, I can view the data broken down by state. The bar graph provides an intuitive visualization of performance level distribution and so makes it easy for me to compare this data amongst the states. I note that some states' results are grayed out, which signals that they opted out of sharing their aggregated data. The drop-downs at the top of the page set the scope of the current view. So if, for example, I want to analyze the overall performance of my grade 3 students in English language arts, I need to select this configuration from the left-hand side drop-down. Now, as I'm a principal of a school, I'm going to want to drill further into data. To do this, I select my state from the states list. I am now presented with the state view, which displays all of the district-level data within my state. Due to the consistent design principles used throughout the application, I'm able to easily interpret this report as I'm already familiar with its layout. I can select the park and state checkboxes at the top of the report to compare individual district performance across both my state and park. I can also easily change the view from performance to growth by selecting the Growth tab on the right-hand side. The Growth view is a bubble chart report that shows student progress across multiple years of the park assessment. I can utilize this grid as a visualization of how students in districts or schools of different sizes are performing and growing relative to the park average and median. The number of students tested is represented by circle size. I can simply hover over a bubble to view the number of students, average score, and median student growth percentile. The horizontal color bands on the grid correspond to the park cut scores shown in the legend at the bottom of the page. I'm also able to focus in on my specific district by deselecting the other districts from the list. Now, I want to go back to the Performance view, so I select the Performance tab. And I also want to dive further into the data, so I select my district from the list. The district view displays. The district view shows my district broken down by school in the same familiar layout. As I'm a school principal, I'm going to want to not only compare my school as a whole to other schools, but also compare the performance of particular student subpopulations. For this, I can leverage the powerful filter capability, which is accessible through the Filters link. The filter link expands to show the available student filters. Each list contains options I can select to manipulate the result data view. For this particular analysis, I want to understand how my white, female, economically disadvantaged students are performing in context to these same students in other schools. So I select this as a filter configuration. And then select Apply Filters. The resultant data set is displayed in the same format, but is now limited to the specific student subpopulation I selected. Once I'm done, I can remove my filter restrictions by simply selecting the Clear All. Next, I proceed to the school view by selecting my school from the list. In the school view, ELA performance results within my school are shown, broken down by grade. As I want to analyze the performance of my grade 3 students, I select grade 3. This takes me to the roster report. The roster report has two views, scores and item analysis. I can easily toggle between these two views by using the tabs on the right. Both these views are particularly popular amongst my teachers as they display the performance of their individual students in the selected grade or course. In the score view, which is what I'm looking at here, scores displayed by student along with columns showing each student's performance in the subclaims of the assessment. The subclaim performance is color-coded, allowing me to quickly interpret if students have met expectations, nearly met expectations, or are below expectations in each of the subclaim categories. A legend is provided at the bottom of the page defining these categories. The student's growth percentile versus their state and all participating park states is also displayed on this view. Next, I navigate to the item analysis by selecting this tab. In this view, scores displayed by student along with each student score for the assessment items. A hover is provided for each assessment item with the evidence statement and the standard the item is associated with. I can also click Next to view additional columns of items. Note that all items displayed here are limited to the release items only. Once done, I can navigate back easily to the score view by selecting the Score tab. Now, as I'm the school principal, I need to access the individual student reports, the ISRs. To access an ISR, I simply click the name of the student. The ISR loads in a new tab providing an overview of the student's performance. To generate a printable PDF of the report, I select Print. I can then select grayscale or color, and then the printable version loads in a new window. It has two pages. The first page is the report view with the student's performance, and the second page contains an in-depth description of the report that facilitates in its understanding. At this stage, if I want to go back to the aggregated reports to perform further analysis, I can leverage the Breadcrumb Trail located at the top of the page. The Breadcrumb Trail displays my current navigation path and so allows me to identify where I am within the application. It also makes it super easy to jump back to a previous view by simply selecting it. Also, if I want to have a copy of the data from any view, I can just select Download from the view, and then a CSV Excel file will generate containing the data from that view. Alternatively, if I wish to download the raw student data, I can leverage the Export Data functionality, which is accessible from the link on the top right-hand corner. Once I select this link, I must complete the parameters, stipulating the data I want to export, select Export, and then a HPZ link generates. I copy and paste that link into a new tab, and then a compressed file downloads on my local computer. This compressed file contains the raw data from the system in a CSV format. This summarizes how I can use the reporting application of the DMRS to access and analyze PARCC student assessment results.